one of the things that's about to happen is going to be an argument, or at least a discussion, between the US and Europe about how to treat what you've described as the algorithmic effects. I mean, I think it's a little bit bigger than social media. It's the social media plus a kind of network of podcasters and influencers. But it's pretty clear that the certainly X and probably TikTok, and perhaps soon to be Facebook and Instagram as well. Although I have some caveats about all that. It's not so much that they're political one way or the other, although I think X probably is. It's that they are what goes viral on there are things that are not necessarily true, and so there is no measure of knowing whether the video you've just seen on TikTok is based in reality or is completely made up. And I mean, most of it's not political, but then we also now have a new realm of a new realm of politics where it's just sort of semi-political. For example, discussions of health and discussions of vaccines. There are areas of life where a lot of conspiracy theories are growing and somehow combine with kind of far right mysticism and some kind of far left mysticism as well. I just wrote a piece about this.
The Rasputin effect. Yes.
Which was published a few weeks ago. And so measuring the effect of that on TikTok or on X is impossible. But I think more broadly, measuring the effect of anything on social media is impossible. So we don't really know how these algorithms work. We don't really have a good insight into them. The platforms are not obligated to show us how their algorithms work or what they favor, or most watched videos or most read tweets. One of the things that's happening now in Europe is an argument that there should be regulation of the platforms, and a fundamental piece of that regulation should be transparency. So that whether it's vetted researchers who are allowed access to the algorithm or allowed to test and experiment to understand what's going on, or whether the companies are obliged to publish information about what people are looking or reading. There's a very hard push in Europe to do that. The European Union has actually already passed something called the Digital Services Act, which in theory allows them to enforce that transparency on the platforms.
How do they do that?
Well, I mean, just they force the platforms to obey the law. I mean, right now they haven't used the law yet. They're looking at using it. They require you give researchers access to the data, or you pay a fine. And we haven't gotten to that stage of the argument yet.